What is up, guys? We are in crunch time before this little guy goes to Laguna Seca, so we're gonna make some changes to the suspension and steering in preparation for a race alignment for this guy. Of course, the first thing we're gonna have to do is get the front tires off the ground and off the car. The knuckle attaches many of the suspension components together, including the coilover and lower control arm. The axle is also held in by this large bolt here. Next, we have to remove the brake caliper and brake disc. Once all that is off, set it aside carefully, making sure not to stress your brake lines. Next, you're going to need to remove the top two strut bolts. I already have a camber bolt on top, which is torqued down pretty tightly. After that, you can turn the steering wheel to get to your tie rod end. This is held down by a castle nut with a cotter pin, so go ahead and break the cotter pin because you'll need a new one anyway. Once you've got the castle nut loose, take it off and put it back on upside down so you can create a flat surface to hammer out this ball joint. The last connection is the ball joint connecting to the lower control arm, and it's putting up a little bit of a fight. So I'm having trouble separating the ball joint, so I went to AutoZone and got myself a ball joint separator. Hopefully that works. So you might be wondering why go through all the effort of removing the front knuckles, because this is not normally a piece that needs to get replaced. Well, when I got my alignment done last time, we were having such a hard time even zeroing it out, and the theory was that there's actually a bit of one of the knuckles that is bent. Unfortunately, it's really hard to tell which one. So we pulled them off. I got two spares just in case, and looking at them now, I can see that it looks like the left one where the tie rod connects is just a little rotated, because putting them both flat down here where the hub is facing down, they should be exactly even, and everything is even except for this spot on the left tie rod end. So now that we've identified the bent knuckle, I had a shop press in the bearing and transfer everything over to our brand new knuckles. Now we just got to put these in the car. I also got a new tie rod end for the driver's side because I may have punctured the ball joint a little bit, and I don't want to show up for an alignment with a bad looking tie rod. So now we just got to put everything back together and go out and get our alignment. Since this car was aligned with a bent knuckle, you can see how little room there was to adjust the toe. Since this locking nut is tightened down, it's easier to remove the tie rod end with the ball joint in the knuckle. So one more thing that we're going to do while we're in here is we are going to install camber bolts. Now, I've already been running a camber bolt on the front already that has been leaning the top in slightly to give me a little bit more negative camber, but it's not quite enough, and I would love a little bit more adjustability. So I've got a second set of camber bolts we're gonna put these on the bottom so that it can lean the bottom of the knuckle out and the top of the knuckle in. Combining those two, we'll get a lot more camber adjustment. We still need to take this to an alignment to get the proper amount of camber that we can, but honestly, we've been fighting to get as much as possible. So to give the alignment guy as much variability as possible and as many options as possible to get a perfect alignment is gonna be nothing but a good thing. Okay, everything on the driver's side has been assembled without issue. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the passenger side, torque everything to spec, and then tomorrow, this thing goes in for an alignment.
Okay, so I am here at Chetworks in the City of Industry, and the Yaris is gonna get an alignment. All right, so test drive one with the new alignment. So far, it feels pretty good. We got more camber than before. Not as much as I was hoping, but honestly, it's kind of because I forgot how much camber we were able to get last time. So the alignment is done, not as much as I was hoping for up front, but part of that is because we're running the suspension kind of high, because the springs are kind of soft. They bottom out pretty easily. If we were running stiffer springs, we could run a lower suspension. The natural camber of lowering the car would help that front camber a little bit. Everything would be more planted. So springs are gonna be really important coming up soon. I know I've said it for a long time, but I'm gonna get them soon, I promise. So many things are back ordered, and there was no chance to get them custom built before Laguna Seca. So hopefully before the end of the TRD series this year, but yeah, that's definitely the next thing on the list. But for now, I've just gotta drive this rattly box home and get it ready for its trip up to Laguna Seca. And I think I'll make a video there too. No, yeah, I'm definitely making another